of the Greater Kendall Business Association. And today we have, I'll say it's special on two accounts. One is we have a trustee member with us today, and this is perhaps the most unique business. I've been around for more than a minute and helped all kinds of businesses, but this one is probably the most unique I've ever run into. And I want to introduce the team at Sparkling Bins. So go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, everybody. My name is Victoria Conway. I am the sales director here at Sparkling Bins.
And I'm John Conway, the CEO and founder of Sparkling Bins.
Excellent. So before we talk about the business and the industry, because I think that's almost one and the same, because you guys are the industry. Let's talk about you, because people do business with people, not with companies. So why don't we start with you? Ladies first.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Victoria, as I mentioned earlier, and I kind of began my career doing sports journalism. I didn't think I'd ever end up here selling trash bin cleaning systems, but my parents started this business out of our home in Kendall. And during COVID with the pandemic, I was away doing sports broadcasting and just was feeling a little bit lonely, isolated like a lot of people, and there was a huge need in our company. And the last 5 years I've been doing that, and it's something I'm very passionate about, getting to help other entrepreneurs get started, just like I watched my parents put everything they had into it and find success. So it really brings me a lot of joy to help people start their own company.
And were you Miami born and raised?
Yeah, I was actually born in New Jersey.
Okay.
And we moved to Puerto Rico for 8 years, and then we made our way to Miami in 2006. Then I went to college back in the Northeast, lived there a couple of years, and found my way back home about 2 years ago. So
is it safe to assume que hablas español?
Hablo un poquito de español, un poquito.
All right. Good. And you, John?
Yeah, so my background is 25 years working for corporate America.
Okay.
During the downturn in the economy in 2008, 2009, I had a decision to leave corporate America, which was a great opportunity. I've always wanted to own my own business. I had no idea what I was going to do. And this idea, I stumbled upon this idea after my wife was chasing after me to clean our trash bins. And I'm like, well, my first reaction was, well, trash bins are meant to be dirty. Who cares? And she says, no, they're full of maggots. They're really dirty. You got to clean them.
This is one of the best origin stories I've ever heard. I mean, you hear of garage businesses, of course. Microsoft, Apple started in a garage.
Yeah.
And this started with maggots, I guess, huh?
Maggots, and we actually we're actually hosting a 4th of July party.
Okay.
And my wife kind of threatened me if I didn't clean the trash bin, she was going to cancel the party. So I'm like, okay. I grabbed a gallon of bleach and some Fabuloso. And I was out there for 3 hours cleaning trash bins at 105 degrees with the heat index, and all that water and then the maggots and all the chemicals going down the storm drain, which I later found out that's illegal. You can't have anything other than rainwater go in a storm drain. So after I did that, I did a lot of research. About cleaning trash bins and why and how much bacteria. And I found out that this concept of people coming to your home doing curbside service started over 50 years ago over in Europe.
Okay.
I think the Europeans at times are a little bit farther advanced than we are.
Yeah.
Take a look at the e-bikes. There's less than 2% of e-bikes in the U.S. and 70% of Europeans own an e-bike. So they were really ahead of the game in terms of recycling and having containers for trash bins. So I said, bingo. And I tried finding a company in Miami to come clean my trash bins, thinking it was a thing in the U.S.
Right.
And it was not. No one doing it. So I was one of the first, if not the first, I can't prove that, to bring the concept from Europe over to the U.S. And I had a Lexus. I traded it in, got a pickup truck, didn't tell my wife. Got a pickup truck, found a welder, and I said, I found a welder. I'm going to start to build a trash bin cleaning truck. I'm going to start cleaning trash bins here in Kendall.
Unbelievable. So it's funny that you mentioned maggots, because I mentioned your business to somebody and they right away they went to maggots. They said, yeah, I went in my trash the other day and I looked and there were maggots there, and she was freaking out. So anyway, great story. And what was your wife's reaction when she saw that pickup truck?
I think I mentioned this to you offline, is that when she actually was out getting her nails done and came home and said to me, what's that pickup truck doing in the garage in our driveway? I said, well, I found a welder and we're going to build a truck to clean trash bins. And she says, no, you're not. So it was not, she wasn't welcome to the idea.
Right.
But then she knows that when I set myself to something, I'm going to do it. So she became very supportive. But her first reaction was like, "What are you doing? Why are you getting into this business? Go out and find a real job."
Right.
And I just saw this vision of how successful it's been in Europe, and no one's doing it in the U.S. And here's an opportunity to bring the concept over and really, it's just grown so much. Not only me servicing 2 counties, Miami-Dade and Broward County. We recently sold a Broward route, but also helping entrepreneurs and selling trucks and trailers. And it's just booming. It's an emerging industry, and it's a lot of people just assume trash bins are meant to be dirty.
Yeah, I think so. That's a great point, because I sure assume that, not just dirty, smelly too. Mm-hmm. So those early days when you went out to, I'll assume you went into neighborhoods, and what did you do, and what kind of resistance or objections did you get?
So my first reaction was, I'm going to Pinecrest.
Okay.
A lot of money in Pinecrest, right?
Okay.
Affluent, bigger homes. They have 4, 5, 6 trash bins, and I got a lot of pushback. And the pushback was from the homeowners saying, "I've got 3 housekeepers. They clean my trash bins. I'm not going to pay you $10 to clean my trash bin." I'm like, wow, that was a big, slap in the face, because I thought that was my, that was my gold mine, Pinecrest. And then it wasn't until I was talking to my sister and my wife, and we're saying, you should be focused on the middle to upper class income. Spouses, married couples, both spouses are working with young kids at home. They've got the dispensable income. Mm-hmm. to spend on it, and they're so busy with their kids playing sports and travel baseball and softball and basketball and you name it. They go to Starbucks and spend $20 at Starbucks. Who wouldn't pay $20 to have their trash bins cleaned? So I started focusing on those demographics, and the business just exploded.
So it's interesting, because that is another marketing truism, which is your target is not always your market. So you have to be kind of aware and be able to, nimble enough to be able to shift gears. So Victoria, now has your target market changed? How do you determine where the business is?
I think the truth is that we're learning wherever there's bins, there's an opportunity, because we talk about individual homeowners. You also have waste haulers, you have schools, you have HOAs. There's so many different people you can target. This is the biggest hurdle, and this is something we talk about often with people that want to get into the business. People don't know about us. So it's being repetitive. The 7 touch points of marketing is really important. But anyone that has a bin, I think it's still true where middle income kids at home, they're busy on a Saturday. They'd rather play golf, go to a baseball game, are who we still focus on. But even when we first started, I think John can speak to this as well. We used to think it was just women, but also men now. They don't have to be asked by their wives to clean bins. So anywhere that there's a bin, Carlos, there's an opportunity. It's just being repetitive with that marketing.
Okay. That's interesting. Now, your business model has obviously changed over the years, where now, in my mind anyway, you cater to 2 very different markets with service and manufacturing. So tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So obviously the start was cleaning bins, literally out of our home in Kendall. That's where the office was. That's where the trucks were ran out of. And then shortly after, John was doing YouTube videos. And I always say kind of ahead of the curve before social media really exploded. And people were calling him asking, "Can you build me a truck?" And at first hesitant, thinking we're going to run all of Florida, but you'd need thousands, if not millions of trucks to do that. And there was a huge need for people wanting to start their own business. So now we have these in 47 of the 50 states. We sell trailers, trucks, a full turnkey business where we help you with a website, routing software, setting up your social media accounts. But it's not a franchise. Folks have their own free range to service where they'd like, how they'd like. We just try to give them the advice we have of 15 years of running the business, with the goal of them coming back for more setup. So I think that was truly the uncovered gem. The trash bin cleaning was always going to work because of his determination. But right then we realized there's a whole other world out there that we can sell these to. So we've sold over 900 setups. We have 2 trucks going to Puerto Rico. And again, kind of like the trash bin cleaning, there's still so many places that don't know about it. So many places we can still get our systems out of there. But it really took off once people started learning about it. And now I think once people see it online, kind of mesmerized, like they can have a full turnkey business for a pretty decent price, get our support and run their own systems. We have clients that run multiple trucks. We have some that run 10, 12 trucks in different cities. So that really became something that I don't think John intended to do when he started, but that's how it goes in business. A lot of times it's just adapting to what's thrown at you.
And to kind of add to that, what we're seeing a lot more is there's a lot more cities and municipalities interested in providing service for the entire city. We have a lot of clients, especially in California, that have these side loader trucks that replicate the garbage trucks, and they're fully operational from inside of the cab, and they follow the garbage trucks, and they have a truck that picks up the bin after it's emptied, and they clean it.
And these are your trucks?
Our trucks that we have, we have 9 patents on all of our trucks. So every time we come up with something new, we're going to make sure we have a patent for it. So we have a lot of trucks out there that clients are picking up city contracts and not only doing residential, but also doing city contracts.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
So one thing that to me is very impressive is that, and I want to know whose idea this was, is that you just don't sell them the truck. You sell them, like you said, a business. You sell them a business. Who came up with that idea? Because it would have been probably a lot easier just to, you buy the truck and go for it.
Yeah.
It was him.
What we kind of found out in the beginning, Carlos, is that as we were trying to help these entrepreneurs get into this industry, because they were very intrigued. It's a very niche business, right? There's thousands of pressure washing companies and landscaping companies. This is so new, and so there's no competition. And we saw that they were struggling. And I said, something, let's put our years of experience in. Trust me, my first year, I made all the mistakes you could possibly make.
Right.
I'm trying to cover the entire county of Miami-Dade with one truck, and that was not
efficient.
Not efficient at all. So, in talking to Victoria's had a lot of input into what we do, and my wife, and it's a family-run business. We said, let's create a turnkey model, kind of like a franchise.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to help you not only. We have an onboarding marketing call with our marketing director to talk to you about the things you need to focus on, the things to stay away from, talking about pricing, talking about route density, keeping your routes as tight as possible. That's the biggest mistake people make. So we said, let's try to get these clients on board with the complete turnkey package. They come in for training. We give them a key to their truck, and their business is already set up. We have a whole team that does your website. We create your social media platforms. We have a CRM that's going to run your business, a routing software that's going to do route optimization. So it's basically like you're buying a franchise without the franchise fees. And our goal is, helping our clients to be able to scale quicker so that they're not spending all their capital and they're able to reinvest back into the company and come back and buy a second and third trucks. As Victoria said, we have clients that have up to 15 trucks in their fleet that are running 15 trucks. Throughout the country, and there's a lot of those. So it was more so making sure and trying to get our clients to make sure they can scale faster so that they're not running out of money. And because we all know a small business, right?
It's all about cash flow.
Cash flow. And, I tell clients that when you're getting into this industry, this is not a get rich overnight business. The biggest challenge we have is that no one knows the service exists.
So it's all an awareness play.
Most people are not Google searching trash bin cleaning near me like you're finding a landscaper or a handyman or a pool service guy.
Correct.
I tell clients, you've got to find clients. They're not going to find you. And the most simplistic way of doing that is cleaning bins from the hours of 4 to 6 o'clock in the evening when people are coming home from work. Because they see your truck and they're saying, okay, what's my neighbor doing now? Keeping up with the Joneses, right?
Right.
And my drivers come back sometimes with 10, 15 new clients that they sign up just on location every single week.
That's part of their role?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So the drivers we hire are not they're mechanically inclined, but we hire people that are more client-facing so they can not afraid to talk to someone who's sitting there looking at them and get them signed up, knock on someone's door. That's the client, the drivers that we hire nowadays are not mechanically inclined. They can fix a broken hose, but I want them to be more client-facing and get clients signed up on location.
Yeah. As a marketer, I would think, you said it, this isn't for Google pay-per-click campaigns because there aren't going to be many searches, if any, for your service. On the digital side, I see this more as Facebook/Instagram, TikTok, just to build that awareness and hopefully bring in business that way. But I also see that, you could, and I don't know if you do this, guerrilla marketing efforts where you just go and, a driver will stick a door hanger on a door, those kinds of things. Do you canvass neighborhoods like that?
Yeah, so I'll talk to you about the canvassing, and I'll have Victoria talk to you about the social media. Because obviously the way we used to advertise 15 years ago is very different than today.
It was a lot easier 15 years ago as far as Facebook, Google, whatever.
And the way that I used to advertise was very simple. I'd focus on 10,000 homes and, 4 or 5 different touch points. And I used to go out there with backpacks and I'd hang postcards, not on the person's house, on their
trash.
door, on the back of their trash bin. So when you come home from work and you're bringing that trash bin there's a big sticker or a big flyer hanging from the back of your trash bin lid, and that's going to stand out.
What did that flyer say? I'm curious.
It was very simple.
Okay.
Trash bin cleaning services as low as $9.95. This was years ago. Before and after picture, we use hot water, we sanitize, curbside service, keep it as simple as possible. And we get a lot of phone calls from people saying, I saw your postcard on the back of the trash bin. So every time Sparkling Bins is going to an expansion area, we still use that methodology.
Okay.
But I'll kind of hand it over to Victoria. Social media, Facebook target marketing, and just social media has taken off. And that's really how most people nowadays get clients.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I think the bin hangers is what the industry started to call it. Now some people even do luggage tag style where they're completely draped down, which is awesome. And, growing up, our house was definitely filled with a lot of postcards and thousands of rubber bands, just punch holing them, and then also rubber bands. So that still gets traction. We also put stickers on the bins so that we tag them so people know, hey, that's a service. And we also know our drivers know whose bins they're cleaning. But in terms of social media now, Instagram Reels, Facebook, in some of these groups, people will post different services. That's definitely helped. I think when people get the visual, they see the actual truck picking up these bins, that really shifts their mindset. Sometimes folks think we come with a hose or a pressure washer and we're just rinsing it out. When they see this truck or a trailer lift up the bins, have those spinning heads running, that completely changes their mindset, that they see it's a professional service that's done on site in under 10 minutes. And Instagram especially, we'll get 20 to 30 DMs a week and we don't even pay for it. It's all hashtags and people sharing as well. That's a big thing. If our clients refer somebody, they get a promo for that. That's huge. When people post us and tag us, other people see it, they share it. That's helped tremendously. So social media, like you said, now there's more accounts out there you have to combat, but it's also a great way to get the visual representation because the postcards are great, but obviously you don't get to see a full reel or a story or voiceover of someone explaining what the process is.
Right. Because to me, creating the need is all about education, because I saw John do a presentation and you started to talk about everything that can be in your trash bin. And I never thought about it. I just, so how do you get that detail out?
I would say when we're talking to clients right away, because they'll ask me if they're trying to buy a machine, there might be people that say it's a trash bin, it's meant to be dirty.
Right.
One of John's best phrases, and he said this for 15 years, is your toilet's supposed to be dirty, and hopefully you clean that 2 or 3 times a week.
Oh, that's a great one.
It's a good one.
That is a really good one.
He knows what he's talking about, definitely. And that kind of changed my perspective too, because I have friends to this day that they know what we do and they're like, you really sell this to people? We're like, yep. And people love the idea. Of course, you have some folks that are never going to pay someone to do something for them.
Right,
Fine.
right. That's not your market.
Exactly. But there's people that pay someone to bring them McDonald's. I'm guilty of that at times. So I understand that you can get it to the right people. So I think just getting them to understand the bacteria inside of it, or have you ever smelled it and then you touch the bin, you bring that inside. And that's why 5 years ago at COVID, we really saw a huge boost because people also had to keep their bins inside in certain HOAs.
Right.
It creates an odor. You have a home gym, a home office. And I think, Carlos, once people have the service, the before and after, it speaks for itself. The retention rate is extremely strong. It's just that initial getting them to sign up for the service. But telling them about the bacteria, that always gets them. The toilet bowl line definitely works.
That's a great one.
Yeah, to kind of add to that, is that we have a lot of areas that we focus in our HOA communities. A lot of the HOAs require that the bins be out of sight by a certain time. Most of them put them in the garage, right? So we typically have 40 to 50% of people that live in an HOA using our service. It's one of those things to where you talk about when you open up that trash bin and you're inhaling airborne bacteria. And I think if you talk to 100 people about this service, you're going to have 70% say, wow, what a great concept. Never knew it existed. Sign me up right here. And the 30%, not worth it. It's not worth even going after the 30%.
Right.
Because those are people that probably cut their own grass, clean their own pool, wash their own car, and clean their own trash bins.
Hopefully they clean their own toilet too.
We hope so.
So Victoria, how do you break into HOAs?
I think a lot of it is just, I mean, back in the day, John used to go and bring like coffee and donuts when they would have weekly meetings or monthly meetings where you could come and present business ideas. It's calling them, it's emailing, it's follow-up. And we tell everyone that. The first couple of times they might not even pick up. You might not be reaching the right person. But even driving through the community and cleaning bins, and I think John can tell this story about how he just went and cleaned the bins for the president of the HOA. He asked the client, right? That was something you did when you were first on the routes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, back in the day when I was out there cleaning trash bins, I remember knocking on people's door to say, hey, I want to make sure you were satisfied with your trash bin. And they come out, and it's the big wow factor. Wow, I never knew those bins would get that clean. And it just so happened I happened to a client signed up in Miami in Country Walk, and she's the president of one of the largest property management companies, and she's still a client of ours 15 years ago. And she said to me, can you come here next Thursday to actually do a demo in front of 45 different property managers, bring some coffee and some bagels, and we did that. And 15 years ago, we still have a great relationship. We'll sign up 2 or 3 HOAs where we're doing the entire community, and they're paying us from their reserve. They're cutting a check for the entire community to have their trash bins cleaned.
That's incredible. So I guess that's 2 types of clients. One is you get paid directly by the homeowner, and then the other one, the HOA itself pays.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So what would convince an HOA to do it for their residents?
Yeah. So we have an HOA that we picked up about 6 months ago, and they keep their bins outside.
Okay.
It's a smaller HOA. It's in St. Kendall, but they have a huge rat problem, a huge problem with stray cats and stray dogs because people are keeping their bins outside. And they called us through the property management company that we know. It's a small community with like 50 homes. And we've been doing this service now for 6 months. And I've talked to him and said, John, we have seen a huge reduction in rats, in roaches, in stray cats and dogs because the bins are being cleaned on a monthly basis. So it really helps the community. You have a much cleaner community when it comes to smell, odors. The smell of these trash bins bring a lot of flies, all right? And flies bring maggots, and then when you have those maggots in there, the smell is something horrendous. So yeah, I mean, it's that. Then you also have a lot of HOAs say, we are making our homeowners put their bins in their garage. And those bins are full of, bacteria, E. coli, salmonella. I mean, there's so many amounts of bacteria and germs per square inch on a dirty trash bin that's never been cleaned before. And they're saying, we're making them put them in their garage. How nice would it be for us? We've got plenty of money in reserve to spend.
Right.
Let's get their bins cleaned, monthly. Some of them do it every other month. Some of them do it quarterly. So as a homeowner, I'd love to get a letter from the president of the HOA saying effective July 1st, we're going to be cleaning your trash bins. So how nice is that? So it's, and what we do is that we actually work closely with the property management company that manages the HOAs. They're the ones bringing the idea to the HOA, the board members. The HOA, board members, they are busy doing other things. They hire a property management company to manage their common area and get vendors and get me quotes for landscaping, get me quotes for pool service. Hey, by the way, there's a company called Sparkling Bins that could come out here and clean your bins for the entire association. So we work very closely with the property management companies here in South Florida.
So John, when you started this business, in your wildest dreams, did you ever think you were going to be where you are today?
Not at all. No. I actually said to my wife, I'm going to be in the industry of cleaning trash bins. And my goal was to continue expanding and eventually take over Florida. And, that was me being somewhat naive because there's so many bins in Miami-Dade County. I could probably have 30 trucks in Miami-Dade County and service and still have room to grow.
And when did you flip the switch to manufacturing and putting others into business?
So that happened by accident, as Victoria was saying before. So back in the day, Facebook was just coming out, becoming relevant, somewhat relevant. I love YouTube, so I was just posting videos on YouTube of our trucks cleaning, people's homes and all that. And all of a sudden, I'm using, I'm not even advertising, I'm just posting videos to YouTube, and all of a sudden I'm getting calls from people all throughout South Florida. And it's funny because they were first calling me to say, "Hey, can you build me a truck?" And I'm like, "No, I'm going to own the whole state of Florida." So I was turning people down, and then I realized, something. I'm getting more and more phone calls. This is really an opportunity for me to really help entrepreneurs get into a business, first-time entrepreneurs, and just being, as Victoria said before, we've helped over 900 companies, entrepreneurs get started in this industry, creating thousands of jobs throughout the country. And not only in the U.S., now we're in Canada. We're also going into Australia. We've sold South America. Puerto Rico is obviously part of the U.S. We've now sold to Puerto Rico. So we're also growing internationally. But, there's nothing more rewarding for me than to sit down with an entrepreneur who's never owned a business before, wants to get into the industry, and with my experience, be able to help that person get into the industry and be successful.
So what is your greatest challenge today, Victoria?
That's a great question, Carlos. I feel like with business, it's always changing.
Yeah.
Right now, thankfully, we're very lucky where we get leads. We obviously do SEO, but people are reaching out to us. We're not really cold calling, which is a blessing. I talk to a lot of friends that are in sales. They're normally cold calling.
Absolutely.
People are coming to us, which is awesome. I think right now it's just getting these products into the hands of people that understand the need for working capital. Because we have some folks that, we talked about earlier, really think it's just going to take off and be a get rich overnight, even though our team, one thing that I think sets us apart as a company is we're extremely transparent. We're not going to tell you you're going to make X, Y, and Z in 6 months.
Right.
This is what you're going to invest. It's going to take time to get there. So I think right now just getting it into the hands of people that have the proper working capital and marketing, because when it's done properly, you can come back and get more systems. So just finding the right type of buyers to make sure that they can grow this business and be set up for long-term success.
Either one of you, what are some success stories that you have for some of these entrepreneurs? Any stand out?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a couple of hundred, So we've got probably our largest client is in Southern California. He has 15 of our trucks.
Wow.
And I'd say 60% of his business is directly with the city and municipalities and the waste haulers. People don't understand that when you're getting into this business, it's just not doing, cleaning your bins, Carlos, or cleaning your neighbor's bins. There's multiple revenue streams, pressure washing. All of our trucks come pressure wash ready. You can do a driveway and a sidewalk, make a couple $1,000s on a Saturday.
Okay, that's news to me.
Oh, no, yeah. So your main focus is trash bin cleaning because there's 10,000 pressure washing companies in the Tri-County area. But on a weekend, you're going to have your clients just say, "You clean my trash bin. Can you come back on a Saturday and
related business?"
Exactly. So that's another revenue stream. Then we have the opportunity to deal with HOAs, right? And then the waste haulers have a huge problem. When they lose contracts, typically a city will give a waste hauler like Waste Management, Waste Pro, a 3-year contract. After 3 years, if they lose the contract, they own 10,000 trash bins. They own them. They have to bring them back to the yard. And then guess what? They got to get those trash bins clean to get out to the next contract. So if you ever go into one of these haulers' yards, you're going to see thousands and thousands of bins sitting there. They need to get those clean because they're not making them any money. So we have a lot of clients. We have a client of ours in Wisconsin, in Green Bay, picked up a contract his first month in business, cleaning 60,000 trash bins a year for Waste Management.
So that guy definitely went like this.
Yeah, he needed a second truck quickly.
He came back and I said, "Don't use the truck we just sold you. Find me a truck. I'll build you a second truck." And he has a truck that's just at Waste Management facility 24/7.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of clients like that picking up contracts with the waste haulers. So we try to partner because the waste haulers, they make their billions in what? Hauling trash, owning landfills.
Right.
It's like, outsourced. When it comes to cleaning trash bins, let people like Sparkling Bins focus on that. You focus on getting more contracts to haul trash. And that's where they make their money. So they're looking for us to partner, and a lot of our clients have partnered with them to help them with getting their trash bins and even dumpsters. We have clients, we have trucks that clean dumpsters.
Okay.
The big 2, 4, 6, 8 metal big containers. I mean, we have contracts with a lot of HOAs that we're cleaning 25 dumpsters in their common areas. So not only are we doing residential, but commercial is also really, really growing a lot faster than the residential side ever did.
So what's next? We've got about a minute left. What's next for Sparkling Bins?
As I mentioned earlier, is expansion, international expansion.
Okay.
International expansion. The one thing
on the manufacturing side, obviously.
Yeah, on the manufacturing side. On the service side, my big thing, and the day I retire, hopefully sooner rather than later, is I want trash bin cleaning to be just a common thing.
Yeah.
So you need to have the oil in your car change every 5,000 miles.
Toilet clean.
Yeah, toilet.
You need to change the AC filter in your home every month, right? You need to do certain things. You have to clean your pool every single week. Well, guess what? You have to have your trash bins cleaned on a monthly basis. And not you're going to have thousands and thousands of germs and bacteria. So it's just making it part of just the common nature of maintaining, things that have to get maintained.
Victoria, if somebody wants to get in touch with Sparkling Bins, whether it's service or they want to start a business, how do they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. If you'd like your bins cleaned and you're in the South Miami, Kendall, Cutler Bay, Pinecrest area, you can reach out to us at sparklingbins.com. And if you're an entrepreneur that wants to look into getting your own business, you can reach us at sparklingbinsbusiness.com.
Great. You guys have been fantastic. Really unique business, like I said. Congratulations on your success and future success. I think the sky's the limit for you. And thanks for being a member of the Greater Kendall Business Association.
Thanks.
And thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week with another guest. And as always, we thank my